Aged 10 and 11 subjected their innocent victims to a horrendous ordeal, during which they beat them with bricks, tied to throttle them, and forced them to carry out vile sex acts on each other. One of the boys, aged 11, had a ceramic sink dropped on his head before which alerted by the sound of passers-by. The suspects covered the two boys with a sheet, which they set alight, causing burns to their victims. One brother had filmed part of the attack on his mobile phone, which was used as evidence in the court. This was all way too much for the 11-year-old who pleaded with the brothers, "Just leave me to die." The court heard how one brother broke a branch from a tree and rammed the sharp end into his arm, ripping his skin to the bone. One of the other brothers had pushed cigarettes into the wound, which needed plastic surgery. The 11-year-old fell unconscious and was so badly injured that he had to be airlifted into the hospital. He had a noose placed around his neck. His friend, who was also the nephew, had his ear and eyelids burned with cigarettes and rocks thrown at him. His genitals and face were stamped on. Both boys were charged with attempt murder and robbery of both of the injured boys. They appeared at Sheffield Crown Court, where a hearing revealed the extent of their actions. The Cafey crime. An American family, Terry and Penny Cafey, were people raising their family in Elba, Texas, 70 miles away from Dallas. Each day was like the previous, with work, prayer, and schooling, with the dreams and wishes for the future. Erin Cafey, who was a daughter, had a wish. She just wanted to go out with her boyfriend, James Wilkinson, but her parents stood in the way. So she took some initiative and planned the murders of her own family. In March 2008, Erin Cafey's boyfriend and his buddy Wade attacked the family's house in early hours in the morning. Her mother was killed and her father was maimed badly. Her two brothers, Matthew and Tyler, were murdered in many ways. Matthew was shot in the head while Wade and Wilkinson took turns stabbing Tyler. Then they proceeded to set the house on fire. All those who were involved with the murder all signed plea deals or pleaded guilty, extending their prison sentences. Erin Cafey pleaded guilty, sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences plus 25 years on January 2, 2009. Erin will not be eligible until she serves roughly 40 years of her sentence.
My mother and father didn't really like him.
Right.
And the first time he ever mentioned, that he wanted to kill my parents was, after Christmas, that he had gave me a ring, proposed to me, and my parents, didn't want us to.
And it was a promise ring, not an engagement
Yes,
ring, right?
yes, sir.
And you said that he brought up killing your parents, right?
Yes. Friend, I'll come pick you up at 12. And that night around 11:45, and it was Bobby and Charles.
All right, so you're outside and he says, "I'm here to kill your parents," so what happened?
I'll go to get in the car.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
You finally said, "Okay, go kill my parents, my mother and my father. The woman that brought me into the world, people that have fed me and clothed me and housed me and loved me every day of my life, sure, go kill them."
Yes, sir.
Did you see weapons then?
No, I didn't see weapons.
How did you think they were going to kill them?
Well, I knew they were in the back of the car because I heard slinging and banging.
They were getting weapons.
Yes.
What did they do that was so bad that you were willing for them to be killed?
Nothing.
Did you think about the next morning, my parents will be dead? You had 2 little brothers in the house. What was going to happen with them?
I didn't really think about that too much.
Did you think they were going to be killed?
It crossed my mind. Yes.
So you're sitting in the car and this guy says, "We're going to go up there and massacre your family." And they get it done. So where did you go then?
Back to the house where they used to stay at.
What did you do?
We just laid on the couch and Charlie wanted to have sex.
Lastly, Tyler Pageant-Stetcher, whom looked like your typical church boy and highly active in student council, was just not your typical teenager. He was convicted up to selling over $20,000 worth of high-grade marijuana a month to high school students. He was leading a drug ring, profiting over $3 million and 600 marijuana plants. He was a former honor roll student who had 6 students working along with him and 7 adults who were arrested between the ages of 30 and 55, who grew weed under the artificial lights in a furniture warehouse and 2 suburban homes. He has been selling since he was only 15 years old. It was estimated that a pound of weed was about $5,000. But how did this go on for so long? No one involved in the drug ring sold pot throughout the school. Therefore, teachers, counselors, and other administrators never saw or heard a thing. There was no indication until they found over $6,000 in his wallet. Tyler stated, "I understood that I would get in trouble, but not to the level or extent that this has become, and I sincerely regret all of this. If I could take it all back, I would." His mother, Daphne Pageant-Stetcher, also spoke to the judge, saying to her son, "Just thought he was using recreational drug and selling it to his friends, and that was it." He said that he expects Pageant-Stetcher to be in prison in a juvenile facility that will include drug rehabilitation and education, considering that he was only just 3 classes away from graduating from high school. In addition to Pageant-Stetcher, 7 adults arrested in connection with the drug ring. Tyler will also face up to 2 felony counts of drug trafficking as a juvenile.